Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show, and you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hey, welcome to the Steve and Crypto Show, presented by thestevestrout.com. I'm Steve.
I'm Crypto Zoo. It's episode 62. You know what to do. Get a cup of Joe. Tune in to the Steve and Crypto Show. We appreciate you making us a part of your day. Steve, take it away.
Take it away. No, you went all out with that. You almost gave us like a whole verse.
Yeah.
Like you're still feeling it from the show the other night or something.
Maybe so. Maybe I got a little bit of that energy still lingering.
Yeah. That's cool though. That's cool. Well, we thank you guys for coming back again. We've been hanging out all week, laying low. Like we said, Crypto had his concert this past weekend, and I'm sure he was busy all week keeping Boogersaurus fed. Because that's important, you know. You got to keep your toy dinosaur with a full belly of boogers. That's where it's at, you know.
Yeah, I mean, because this dinosaur doesn't really eat much else besides like change from the bottom of your coin jar and Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its.
My 2-year-old eats most of those before Boogersaurus gets a hold of them. So
he saved a few. At least he shares.
He
shares. Yeah. I seen him last week. I seen him actually trying to eat the kid's toes too. So that's, I honestly, if somebody tried to feed me boogers all day, I'd bite your motherfucking toe off too. To be honest, I'll get you.
Could you imagine if we made the next Jurassic Park movie, where it's like all the dinosaurs in the parks, they're not really in the parks anymore, but all the dinosaurs have been killed off except for one remaining, and it's Boogersaurus.
And all he wants to do is eat your boogers and your toes.
The only reason that he is Boogersaurus is because, he, let's say he was particular about what he liked to eat, and maybe he doesn't want to eat humans. He ate dinosaurs, and there's none left. Yeah. So I guess I'm eating boogers.
Like, don't be scared of him. He's not going to eat you. He just wants to stick his tongue in your nostril. That's it. That's it.
Eat me.
See, this having fun is what this show is about. Talking about Boogersaurus and farts and monsters and fucking
not cryptocurrency,
nerdy news, not cryptocurrency. Like, we still get, it's never gonna stop, but we get constant. I get emails, I get messages on social media, I get like these crypto podcasts that like to tag me and stuff. Like, I'll post about the show, like, listen to episode 61, and we talk about Boogersaurus, and then like I'll get they'll share me and fucking quote it with like, listen to the best cryptocurrency show and buy Bitcoin and fucking,
if that gets them to listen,
NFTs and shit. But it's probably not getting nobody to listen. They're just trying to get us to listen to their dumb shit. Like,
does Boogersaurus have NFTs? Can we work that out somehow?
I don't even know how to work NFTs.
Like, could people purchase his boogers?
I know like what an SBD is, but I don't know what NFT is.
I was gonna say, I hope you don't know what an STD is.
Oh, I know what it is, but I avoid those.
Yeah. I guess I should say, I hope you don't know what it is, like, personally. But yeah, anyway.
No. I had fucking health class in middle school. I know what they are. I know what can happen.
How's a nice bucket of eggs sound?
I know what can happen to your dingus when you put it in the wrong place. Like, but yeah, so we're not about cryptocurrency. We're about pop culture and horror and just nerdy shit. You know what I mean? Like, the name Crypto Zoo's name has nothing to do with cryptocurrency.
Nope.
Yeah,
more
like
to do with monsters than anything else, really.
Yeah, and like cryptids, it's cryptozoology, like Bigfoot and like the Jersey Devil and all those crazy monsters, the Mothman, and like all that shit. Not
how many times do I
fake
gotta
money.
say it? It's more about Harry and the Hendersons than it is about cryptocurrency. Okay, like that movie right there started it all for me. So I owe
it's
all
about
of my love for the crypto and cryptids and all that shit. It all leads back to Harry.
it's about Bigfoot, not Bitcoin.
That's right. Yeah.
And I just lost to some listeners by trying to rhyme Bigfoot with Bitcoin. Well, not rhyme it, but I said Bigfoot. Never mind. I'll just shut up. We're not about fucking fake money. But we do have some social media where you can follow us.
Of course.
He's CryptoZoo88 on Instagram and Twitter. The Steve Strout, Instagram, Twitter. And we also have a Facebook group that we are having a blast with. It's the Steve and Crypto Show Facebook group where you could come and post all kinds of fun, nerdy, horror theme. There's anything. If you're working on a project, if you're creating something, post it in there and let us see it. And if we dig it, some of the other members of the group might dig it, but if we dig it, we might even try to have you come on the show and tell more people about it.
Yeah,
because we have 50,000 million 100 viewers, and what's funny is we don't have viewers, we have listeners. So we could have 100 million viewers. Not even
you're not a single digit off.
They're all watching in the window viewing us. 50 million people. But anyways, that's stupid. We shouldn't laugh at dumb shit like that, but that's where my brain's at. It's been a long weekend. I spent the whole weekend playing games with friends and not sleeping enough and eating junk food, and my brain and my body is paying for it today. But yeah, that being said, go to our Facebook group, Stephen Crypto Show group. And what are other ways they can support us?
Well, of course, we recently set up a Patreon, so you can visit patreon.com/Steve Crypto. And if you're listening to the show, I hope you're a fan of it. I hope you can say that you're into it. We appreciate you listening, and so if you feel like you would like to make a little contribution, you visit our Patreon, and we have some exclusive content over there that our normal listeners don't get to listen to. Maybe they're happy that they don't get to listen to all that content, but if you're paying us, then you probably want to hear it. So,
yeah, I mean, we got a little bit of stuff. We got more coming for sure. We want to put things, just little segments of us just bantering about stuff that don't make the air on the show.
Yeah.
Like we did recently. Yep. We attempted to do a video for you guys and do a open this blind bag from NECA Toys. It was supposed to be like a horror and sci-fi thing, and it was just full of bullshit.
It turned into a cautionary video.
Yeah, it was like a warning. Like it went from like an unboxing to a review. Like, don't buy this shit. But we might give them another shot. We might have more goodies from them. And I know I got a bunch of shit in the mail that we're going to record some videos to share over on the Patreon page. And I think it's we should give shout outs to our current patrons. There's not a lot of you, but you guys mean the world to us. So shout out to our good friend, a long time supporter from like day one, and actually a mutual close friend of ours, John Nutter, who's always been supportive of what we do.
We love you, John. Thank you so much.
Our biggest, he literally told me he's a fan, Joe Saldezo, who is our guy who won the Buy Me a Coffee contest. Yeah. And we've been trying to get him in. It's just scheduling. Like he's a manager of a theater in Seattle. So his timing and ours is kind of tough, but we're going to get him on the show soon to tell us about himself. Debbie Pitts, she's been contributing. Of course, our friend Isaac Thorne, who is one of my favorite writers, which is really kind of an honor that he's contributing to our show, which is fucking cool. But you can do that. Head to patreon.com/Steve Crypto. Head over to all our social media And we still have the Buy Me a Coffee page up too, which is at buymeacoffee.com/Steve Crypto, where you could go and it's basically like tipping. You could tip us on the show and with all this stuff, Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, everything. It all goes back into the show to improve gear, to try. Like, we want to start maybe doing some advertising to get the word out, because we're starting to think that people are starting to like us. And we want to get
60-something episodes in. Yeah, maybe they're finally starting to like us. I bet it was that Boogersaurus episode that did it, right?
It was probably Boogersaurus. That's my guess. That's my guess.
These guys are all right after all.
Yeah. They stopped talking as much about farts and they started talking about booger eating dinosaurs, because that's what the fucking people want.
That is what the people want. We know it.
They want booger eating dinosaurs. Speaking of what people want free shit. And if you listen to episode, I believe it's 59 and 60, 59, we had Craig E. Sawyer came on to tell us about the Kickstarter he's launching for book 2 of his Forbidden Museum. And we mentioned episode, we do have a copy of that issue 1, Forbidden Museum, that we are giving away. So listen to the episode, get some details on how to get in on that and try to win you that copy of that book. And following episode 60, we talked to a horror writer named Eric Capitan, tell us about his book, Night of the Undead Horrors. And it sounds like it's going to be a wild ride. Definitely looking forward to reading that one. I have a copy on the way. He's giving away a copy of that too. So listen to that episode 59 and 60. Listen, get the details on giveaways, win some free books. Because free books are the best books. They're all good books. Buy their books too, but win a free one. I feel like if you get either one, especially the Forbidden Museum one, you're definitely going to want to get in on the book 2 Kickstarter. It's good shit.
Well, what better than to get issue 1 of either story, in your hands. And
seriously.
And of course, down the road, you may be able to catch this series online to, be able to download it or something. And, you can probably pay to get it digitally. But I don't know about you, about you listeners, but I know that Steve and I, we're definitely like in-hand collectors, like physical media, collectors. Man. So it's something special about really holding the comic or any book and just cracking it open. And I mean, you can read a story on your tablet or your phone or whatever, but it's just not the same. It's not the same feeling.
I did always prefer, holding a book and reading it, but lately, the last few months at work, I'm usually like alone there in the morning for a couple hours, which gives me time to listen to other podcasts sometimes. And I've been listening to audiobooks. I've listened to some good stuff lately. I listened to Don Coscarelli's book. He's the guy who created the Phantasm series. Okay. His autobiography, which was awesome. If you ever get around that, I think it's been out for a couple of years, but that was good. And I just finished the guy who created the Puppet Master series. Read his book, and that was fucking awesome. Like, I never realized how much stuff he was involved in. Like, it was cool, man. It was good. It just kind of, zoned out at work, because I've done my job so long that I could just kind of probably sleepwalk through it. So it's just like I'm zoned out, getting my job done, and just listening to some good stuff. Actually just started a new book today.
Nice. Which one?
I started Mel Brooks's autobiography, and it's read by Mel Brooks. And if you ever hear him talk, it's just like awesome. He's like old Brooklyn Jewish man. Like, just, it was fun hearing him tell stories about his family and growing up and shit. It's crazy, like stuff like that, like a legend. They heard him talk about like tough times and being poor and like scraping by, because you never imagined people like that. Like, no, that guy's a legend. He was never poor.
Yeah.
No, a lot of people.
Yeah, I know. He's been very successful since before, since we were kids.
Award winning, but way before that too. Like,
I was gonna say, like, before we were kids, really.
Like, the producers was award winning. Young Frankenstein was classic. It's like one of the funniest movies ever. And then even the bad ones, like Dracula Dead and Loving It, that was stupid, but it was like awesome.
See, that's actually, I was just going to say, that's actually one of my favorite films that he's made. I mean, I grew up on that. I'm not saying that I watch it so much now because like I'm kind of selective with like slapstick humor as as I get a little bit older. But man, as a kid when that came out, I loved it.
Man. That was good.
Loved monster movies, and it was great. When you're
it combined
8 years old,
a monster movie. It almost felt like an old classic monster movie, but it added that goofy comedy to it.
Yeah.
Which honestly, it's one of my earlier like horror comedies, I guess you could call it that I remember watching. I mean, I guess you could, there's stuff in the 80s, I guess you could, like the stuff, a lot of the stuff you look at as funny now is like this shit took itself serious in the 80s and meant to be funny. But I think of like that and like, it's a good one. It's definitely a good one.
They were really laying on the slapstick thick back in the day with some movies, I mean, of course, Leslie Nielsen movies in general, even if he wasn't with Mel Brooks, like all
Naked
his
Gun
stuff,
movies and
all his stuff was
shit.
like that. Airplane was so goofy, and this part isn't even like physical comedy, but of course, I loved in Airplane the whole excuse me, thing. Blood, excuse me, blood, I speak jive.
Yeah.
or sit down, sit tight. He gonna catch you on the med side.
It's so, rep. Like, it's just wild, man. Just like simple, just good, dumb joke writing that is just endearing. Rather, and like it's not. Oh, I can't even think. It's just don't take itself too seriously, and it knows that it's like stupid. Fucking Spaceballs. How we not even mentioning Spaceballs? Like that's one of the funniest movies ever.
Yeah.
But anyways, so you guys got till January 31st to get in and try to win those books.
Let's rewind back a little ways.
Yeah, I could jump back and go off topic, but January 31st. So listen to episode 59 and 60. Try to win a book. If not, go check those guys out. All their details are in the episode description, so you could click on a link and buy copies of it. I think the Eric Capitan book he's selling for like a couple bucks. You could download it. The comic, comic book price. Comics aren't that expensive. I mean, they're a lot more expensive than they used to be when I was a kid. But yeah, so that was what did we talk about last week? I think we kind of brought up what we talked about last week. I mean, Boogersaurus, but he kind of trumped the whole episode. Like he took over the whole episode.
Yeah, he just kind of stomped all over everything.
Yeah, it was luckily though, because there wasn't a lot of interesting news or anything coming out last week. So it was like Boogersaurus came into our lives at just the right time.
Yeah, pretty much. He was there to save the day, like Mighty Mouse.
He was there to save the day. He was like, these guys are struggling. They don't got nothing to talk about. Let me eat a booger and blow their minds.
It's almost like Tally, instead of like getting high, he's like, hold on a minute, let me eat a booger.
Yeah, eat a booger.
Oh, wait, I got a great idea. Why don't you guys talk about me on your show? Last week we discussed Boogersaurus, and you can't really say it without
Peacemaker.
Laughing.
We talked about Peacemaker a little bit, which is getting better every week. I'm really digging that show.
Yep, I have been talking to some folks online and just seeing comments from random people too. Most people love it. There's a few people here and there that want to make stupid comments just to stir the pot.
To do it. Yeah.
Just to do it. Like they can't go along with what everybody else says. They just can't like something. They find something wrong with it. But the majority is loving it.
Yeah. I find myself trying to sell it to people. And it's people I know like, oh, they love superhero movies and shows, but like I don't know them to be into the more crude humor, which James Gunn brings. So I always have to throw that in there. I was like, oh, it's an amazing show. It's so entertaining. It gets a little crude at times, but it's awesome. If you could see past that, or if that don't bother you, then you're gonna love the show. Like just selling it. But I personally, I love the crude part in the superhero.
I do too. I love it too, and
it's fun. It's in a fun way, like like The Boys got kind. I don't know if you watched that on Amazon.
I still haven't. I want to.
Watch it.
I want to.
The new season's coming, but they have it's kind of an edgy show for a superhero show, and but it's a little more dramatic than this. Like this is like fun. This is just a good time. This movie, I'm still mind blown by like the scene of John Cena when he was doing something with the lady and he was just yelling freedom. That's too much.
I've talked to someone that I know who is kind of the opposite of how we feel. Like they're not really into the superheroes being crude and cussing all the time and all that. But what I usually say, in a response is like, well, we have like 30 to 50 superhero movies out there that are wholesome, and there's plenty of the usual family content. Can't we have one every now and then that's a little bit more?
If they got more, honestly, if I was a superhero, or like Superman or even Batman, who don't have superpowers, I would find myself cursing a lot.
Yeah.
Because like so you be trying to bust some fucking criminal and they shoot at you and I like, motherfucker. Like I don't know how much like Superman and be like, come here, you son of a bitch, snatching somebody up.
Well, and then like you're Batman, you think you've got this situation handled, and then Superman swoops in and uses his superpowers and takes care of everything a hell of a lot faster than you.
Here comes this asshole again.
Yeah,
fucking
and
show off.
You can't help but be jealous. Like I'm a superhero, but I for some reason I didn't get the damn powers like everybody else.
Show off.
Yeah.
He's like,
go ahead, fly out of here.
At least I could get some without blowing somebody's uterus out.
He's like, at least I have money.
Yeah. He got a job at the newspaper.
Yeah. I still don't understand how nobody knows it's him. Like, let me take these glasses off.
Like, where'd he go? Where'd Clark go? Yeah.
It's like all it takes. Take them glasses off.
That's honestly though, that's how I look at myself when I'm at work, my work uniform, and when I leave, I make sure I'm not wearing any part of it because I don't want to be recognized out in public.
Yeah,
it always happens, but like I'm hard to not recognize, but especially in this small ass podunk town. But I kind of feel like I have my secret disguise.
Yeah,
don't work, but I do like wearing our masks now though, because that definitely helps.
Makes you feel like a superhero.
No, it just makes it so people don't recognize you every time now.
Yeah,
or I'll see people that I don't want to talk to, and I pretend I didn't recognize them because they're wearing a mask. You ever do that?
Well, there's that, and the fact that I wear headphones like very often when I'm at a grocery store.
Yeah.
So I can just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I had my headphones in," which is not really a lie.
Yeah.
So
I do that. I'll have headphones in, or I'll put them in, or I'll pretend I'm on the phone sometimes too. When I see people like, oh, let me pretend I'm on the phone, and I'm like,
you just hold your hand up, hold your hand up like the phone, you're like
imaginary phone, it's my invisible phone. Or I'll hold my real phone up. I hold my real phone up to my ear, and like I'm talking on it, and somebody tries to talk to you, and you just give them a little, hold on a second, or just wave to them and just keep talking on the phone to nobody. like I see your screen, it's black, liar.
Maybe if you bring up something bad on the phone, like, yeah, I'm here at the store just trying to get some Pepto-Bismol for my diarrhea. Yeah, maybe they'll leave you alone.
Need some preparation H. My hemorrhoids are flaring up.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. Anyway, going back a little bit. So yeah, I mean, I've always kind of had a fondness for the superheroes that are like kind of on like the anti-hero side, but like kind of just like darker characters, like
Punisher or something.
Blade, the Punisher, even Ghost Rider. I'm not talking about the Nicolas Cage
the comic
movies.
book Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
Nicolas
the
Cage
character,
crap. Yeah,
the character itself. But Deadpool, of course, and so I'm glad that we actually have a film like Deadpool that's kind of been like the blueprint for what they kind of want to do now.
What they could get away with. They found out they could get away with a lot more.
Yeah. What they are allowed to do now, and like, okay, we can at least get away with this kind of shit. Maybe push it a little bit more.
Yeah. But they're definitely pushing it with Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
they're getting
it's kind of like the
gore
and
sex and like gore and sex and vulgarity
and Eagly.
Oh man, Eagly is the star of the show.
Yeah, it should be called Eagly and Friends.
Yeah. That's man, when Eagly hugs him, that scene. I'm not gonna move. Get my phone, Dad. Get my phone. Get a picture.
Book of Boba.
Book of Boba Fett.
We are 4 episodes in. There's only 3 left now.
Yeah, it's crazy when they have the short seasons like that, because they start building and they're like, oh, this is going to get crazy. There's no way they could just close this off, you know what I mean? End this or get through this run in 2 more episodes or 3 more episodes. So I'm curious to see how it plays out. It's kind of cool seeing the Black Wookiee.
Yeah.
He's a cool character. I think we're going to see some cool shit from him. I heard a lot of people were kind of poking fun at the young teenage group that started working under Boba with their colorful Vespa-like speeder bike things. I guess they were getting a lot of shit online making fun of that, and it's like, shut up. First of all, this is a Disney show.
Yeah.
And it's teenagers, and teenagers like to fucking look flashy and make a statement. And I'm trying to stand out again, but it does stick out like a sore thumb though in the setting.
It does. It really does.
It's not worth fucking getting online and bitching about it.
No, I wasn't hating the episode because of it. Like, the episode had a lot of great content in it, so I wasn't hating because of that.
Yeah.
But I will say, the colors were very contrast. We're not used to seeing colors like
just so
bright in Star Wars, other than like a lightsaber,
Yeah.
Good evening, my victims. It is I, Malvolia, the Queen of Screams. You can see all my latest episodes on YouTube. And now you're listening to The Steve and Crypto Show.
In the middle of the woods, in a secluded cabin, lives Aaron, a deranged serial killer on a gore-filled path of destruction. With each new victim, his appetite for blood and carnage increases. There is only one problem, though. His victims don't stay dead. Night of the Undead Whores, an extreme horror novelette by Eric Capitan. Now available on Amazon.
Since we're all strangers to each other, let's get acquainted with a drink, shall we? Will you join me?
Yeah, there you go.
Just a sip might improve your humor.
Drunk in Public Domain. New episodes every Friday night.
I not only drink really, I really drink.
Join us as we take a drunken dive into Public Domain movies, music, and more.
Did you bring the money?
Don't bug me with the money. I got to get drunk now.
We may have to start drinking.
Come on, drink, pal.
On the internet. You can find us on the internet.
Hey, this is Dr. Gangrene. You're watching the Steve. No, you're not. You're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show right here on whatever network you're on. I don't know what you're on. Don't ask me. I can't see what you're doing, but keep listening and tune in next week for more cool content on the Steve and Crypto Show.
Speaking of exciting shows, I just saw a report that Apple TV has a Godzilla show in the works. which is really fucking cool because I kind of like Godzilla a little bit.
That is so cool. I almost dropped my coffee, and that's not a joke.
No, you didn't know about this shit?
Well, I'm gonna try to act like you didn't send me that notice in a text.
10 times, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about
Godzilla
that at
show
all.
coming, yeah.
I didn't know about that at all. Oh my goodness, that's so cool.
There's not a lot of details. There's no release date yet or anything. But the showrunner is going to be Chris Black, who worked on Outcast and Star Trek Enterprise. So he's kind of got that nerdy sci-fi credits going. And Matt Fraction, who is one of my favorite comic book writers, probably best known for writing Marvel's Hawkeye. A run in 2012, which a lot of it a bit of it inspired the series. So that's cool. I'm excited to see what comes from that.
Are those the comics that Kingpin was featured in, like where they actually show him in the same attire that they had him in the show and all that? Like, did he work on that series?
He does get into that. Like all the like the intro, like the show intro, like all the comic art and stuff.
Yeah,
it's all based on that series.
Okay.
Like I didn't read the whole series. I got through the first few books. Like I don't know how deep and how closely it parallels the show, but it's cool. But yeah, the Godzilla thing. It's just a beginning of Legendary's monsterverse that they're trying to build with, they did a Kong versus Godzilla, which was #1 in the box office last year. They got the upcoming Skull Island anime on Netflix pretty soon.
Ooh.
So that should be cool. Speaking of #1 in the box office, another horror movie hit #1, which is exciting.
So good to hear.
Halloween Kills did it last, and now Scream's doing it, which is fucking cool. I haven't watched it yet. I can't talk about it much, but it's still exciting. It still excites me to see #1 in the box office, Scream.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
I gotta say,
they didn't expect anything to beat Spider-Man until Spider-Man in February. Or
I'm
Uncharted,
gonna say this,
or whatever the fuck it is.
Just to warn anybody listening. So I watched something on YouTube. I watched a little video from a YouTuber that I am used to, like, warning me and posting something letting me know that there's spoilers in there. So I watched the video where they just were ranking the series.
Yeah.
And they straight up told me who the killers were. And I'm gonna do my best to just try to not think about it.
That was like last week, wasn't it? Like literally like day after the fucking movie came out.
A few days later, basically.
Not
yeah.
cool.
So yeah. So what I'm saying is just anybody who hasn't seen the movie yet, like if you're just browsing on YouTube or whatever, be careful. Just try not to watch anything Scream related right now.
Right. Be careful.
Yeah.
Unless you've seen it, go ahead. But if you haven't, be careful.
Yep.
Careful out there, folks.
Yeah, but it's really nice. Just reiterating, it's really, really cool to see a horror film with a #1 spot again. And I gotta say, man, I wish that all this stuff was so as cool as it is now, or considered, normal. Like as I wish it was what it was.
Ago. Yeah.
No,
like, I wish it's popular now.
When we were kids.
We wish it was. Well, when I was a kid, it was popular. Slasher films and shit was big. It's kind of it goes in and out. It goes kind of in and out.
Nerdy pop culture stuff in general.
This in general, yeah.
And horror stuff too. But like all of that, kind of all under one umbrella.
I thought you were saying
it's so nice.
Generally, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's part of it. But it's just so cool to see like kids, going to school now and repping all this kind of stuff. Like, you're not going to get made fun of for wearing a Marvel shirt to school. Like people are into that now. And or people are like talking about Walking Dead. They're talking about all kinds of things.
Well, I mean, nobody's really talking about Walking Dead anymore. But
well, maybe not so much that. But
yeah, but I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Whereas
it became a part of mainstream. You know what I mean? It's becoming part of the mainstream, which is awesome.
And back in the day, we didn't really talk about it as much. We had our certain people we could discuss it with, you know, but it's like now it's just so much more normal to be like, man, you know, Spider-Man's kicking ass or whatever. Like, people might be talking about the Super Bowl just as much as they're talking about Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, I mean, that's sometimes it's like some of the most exciting part of the freaking Super Bowl is like the big premiere trailer for like the next big pop culture themed movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hey, like what was it the other day? One of the new series, the Moon Knight series. They launched the fucking trailer during one of the football playoff games, and it got like some of the most views of a movie trailer in a while. So it's cool, man. It's becoming mainstream. Back when I was young, there was a couple kids that liked comics, but we were fucking nerds. We got picked on, but now we're the cool kids. So suck it, fucking bullies.
Yeah, you know, I'm not really a sports guy, but I did see the trailer for the halftime show for the Super Bowl. So I'll holler.
Puppy Bowl?
I'll tell somebody to holler at me when the halftime show comes on. So
Puppy
the
Bowl?
lineup, the what?
The Puppy Bowl, or whatever the hell it is.
Well, Snoop Dogg's going to be performing, so
is he on the Super Bowl? Hell yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, so there's like a 4-minute video going around, and it's like a Marvel themed type of trailer, you could say. Yeah. And it has Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar, and Mary J. Blige are all in it.
Really? On the Super Bowl halftime?
And they all, yes, they are. And they all come together in this little trailer like they're the Avengers, you know? It's kind of cool. Like Eminem's doing his rap god part, and he's like putting all these words together on this little screen thing, like he's Doctor Strange or something.
That's cool, man. I'm gonna have to look for that. I'm gonna have to look for that and check it out. But like we said, it's exciting for nerdy shit and horror to be hitting the mainstream, and it's always. I'm excited as a horror fan and a nerd that it's kind of horror award season with the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards coming with a lot of cool categories. Like they have like the best movie, the best, what is it? They had best movie, best streaming premiere movie this year. They have a best series, which I hope Chucky's going to get it.
Oh, that'd be great.
Chucky needs to win. They have best documentary. A lot of cool fucking categories, and of course there's always like the best creature effects and makeup and costume designs and achievement and nonfiction, which is the one that I always look forward to because it's like Joe Bob Briggs is always up for it. And this year he's got Elvira up against him for her 40th anniversary. Very scary, very special. That was on Shudder.
And people love both of them dearly.
Yes.
That's going to be a hard one.
Gonna be a hard one, but there's not only the Fangoria Awards, there is the Rondo Awards, named after Rondo Hatton, the character actor from back in the day, who kind of had a weird look to him. He was famous for his odd physical appearance, and so they named the awards after him, the Rondo Awards, for classic horror and genre stuff. And they have a ton of categories too, like best movie and best comic book. And there's also categories you can go in and vote for your favorite podcast. So if you go on there and vote, look up the Rondo Awards website and go in there and nominate some people, and maybe think about your third favorite podcast and throw their name in the hat. You never know.
Yeah.
Like what it could do. But
so you're telling the people to go on there and vote for what? Talk is Jericho or some other show? Is that what you're saying? Or are you telling them to vote for us?
I mean, if they want to, if they enjoy us and we're on their list of worthy I almost said adversaries. That has nothing to do. Worthy adversary. We'll just throw you. No. But if you're a fan of Booger Saurus and Steven Crypto, I mean, why not? Well, I think I'd appreciate to even be considered. I actually had a couple people message me and say, like, I threw your name in the hat for the Rondos. I was like, oh shit, well, that's awesome. But we'll see how that works out. But
if you vote for us, we'll give you a big old air hug.
Yes,
that's about the biggest gift we can send your way.
Well, Boogersaurus will share some of his snacks with you. But, hey, we are cutting close on time. We're getting ready to wrap up here. But before we do go, I want to remind you guys to visit us on Buy Me a Coffee, buymeacoffee.com/Steve Crypto. Visit all our social medias, CryptoZoo88, the Steve Strout on Instagram and Twitter, the Facebook group.
Yes, please visit our Facebook group, the Steve and Crypto Show podcast. Stop by there, become
Patreon.
Stop by Patreon, patreon.com/Steve Crypto. That also goes for Buy Me a Coffee, buymeacoffee.com/Steve Crypto.
So you got that one twice here, Dan. Just a
Yeah.
reminder.
Yep.
And before we wrap it up,
I just wanted to throw that in there one more time.
before we cut this episode, you just had that big show Friday. Tell us real quick about it. How'd it go?
Oh man, it was pretty fun. It was nice to see people enjoying themselves and in a safe manner. You know, like people were actually breaking their cards out and wearing masks and all that, and still like following rules and having a good time. And
good.
How
did your performance go?
That's all I want is for people to have a good time and safely. It was pretty good. I had to cut things because they had some extra performers and different, situations that came up. But, I think it did okay overall. I was having trouble hearing myself a little bit. And so like one of the songs that I do, which is probably the fastest one I have, it's actually called Gremlins. I felt like I was going to have a heart attack or something, man. Cause like, I just was trying to project a lot, so I could hear myself and to make sure they could hear me. And I'm going to have to work on that one a little bit and, get rid of some of the dad bod as well. That'll help.
There you go. You got to do some cardio before your next set.
Yeah, I'm going to break out the treadmill and I'll be rapping while I'm running.
Yeah, well, that's good, man. Hopefully over this year, like I mentioned, I'm here to help you with the music stuff as best as I can. Hopefully we get you recorded some stuff, maybe get a couple songs out there for people to hear. I know I think our listeners would probably be intrigued. I'm your fucking co-host here, and I have barely heard your songs. So so we need to get it done and get some shit out there so we can hear it.
Well, hey, I'm happy to do that, but you also need to like be able to stay up past 4:00 and come do a show.
Yeah, about that. That's something we'll have to work on too.
Yeah.
But hey, let's wrap this up. We have been the Steve and Crypto Show. We will see you next week on episode number
63.
63. Oh, we can have some fun with these rhymes. I can't wait to make a rhyme one with Boogersaurus. But anyways, thank you guys for listening. I'm Steve.
I'm Crypto Zoo. Thank you guys for listening. Catch you next time. Peace.